Welcome to the channel, A31 Avo. Today, multi-grafting an apple tree. The varieties: Gala. That was the one request. And then Jonah Gold. So este va a ser un multi-injerto de manzana para un compañero de trabajo, Pedro. Saludos a Pedro. Pedro es compañero de trabajo y paisano. Saludos a Guanajuato. So Pedro es compa. Liberty on the land. Hi, nice to see you. Hope everything's well. So yeah, this is going to be a live multi-graft demonstration. Once again, disinfect your tools from job site to job site. So these tools were used yesterday and I cleaned them leaving the site and then even right now. So let's let that air out. But I could actually prune where I'm not gonna graft. Take a look at the tree. This is a high chill hour tree. 700 or 800 hour chill hour tree. And so we're gonna graft against it. I think it's a M112 rootstock. M112 rootstock. So again, where I won't be able to tie in, right here, too thin, too wimpy. And these little ones right here, they're small but they're expressed. And then this one. Okay, where I am going to try to graft onto is going to be the main trunk, the central leader. It had a graft, but it failed. It grew, and then it suckered out. I abandoned it and then forgot about it, and then just the graft died back. Okay. So it's going to be right here. These are the 3 limbs I'm going to try to graft onto. Right here. 1, 2, and 3. All right. Let's go. First, a cleft graft right here. This is going to be a cleft graft at the central leader. So let's look at the wound. The wound's right there. It's still shot up a piece of wood, but I'm gonna cut right beneath the injury. Still alive. Good. All right. And then it's gonna be right here. Give it like the length of a finger. And then right here, same thing. This one I want to come back lower on the thicker one, on the thicker part of the branch. There's a small little intersecting wimpy branch. So I'm gonna clean it up right here. All right. Again, about the length of a finger. This is budwood, but again, high chill hour. I can't use it. We're low chill hours here in the northern central coast. The Weird Street Kid 2025 said hi, what's up? And Jessica Prince, welcome to the channel. So okay, check it out. Let's go. Again, Golden Delicious. Gala, let's go Gala. All right. And you want to come back a bud. See how it's dehydrated? You want to refreshen the cut. You could go right there. See how it's still good or partially good? So, but I'm gonna skip. I skip a whole bud, and I'm gonna come down to the second nearest to the top. And see, that's good. Okay, and then you have to watch your orientation. Again, these are already pretty close. The angles are not the best, but that's how life is sometimes. You just have to make it work. And then so I want to orient this one coming out this way. All right, so this one's coming out this way. I'm gonna go a little bit lower. Again, try to match up the thickness. And there, you see? So, okay. And then, again, oriented in that direction. I'm gonna angle it a little bit, again, to refresh the cut. But instead of just doing it flat, I like to angle it a little bit because it's gonna seat. It's gonna seat a little bit better in my cyanon. This is the cyanon, and it needs to sit right there in that little notch. This is still drying a bit. Let's give it, let me wipe it down. And this is what I'm talking about. It needs to sit right there. And then, so I have these two little oil marks right there that I like to use as reference, and that's where I'll always come in. 100, 100, yeah, we're here. Roberto Argueta, greetings, saludos. And look at that. That's a good whip. Now, look, that's gonna go like that. So I'm gonna, same thing right here. You seat it, and right here, it's kind of getting in the way. See how that was getting in the way? So I'm gonna have to come this way. But it's still gonna work. There. Again, Felco. Disinfect. Disinfect. And then top third. Dig in. Dig in. Once I'm already in, move your hand. Move your hand and rock back and forth gently. Gently. Just let the knife do the cutting. I'll go the depth of the blade right there. Okay, this is the tongue. So first, again, this one made the whip, and then now I'm cutting the tongue. This one, same thing. Lower third, middle third, top third. So go top third, and you want to dig in. Very careful. If it's dry, it's gonna run. It's gonna split, and you're gonna run into your fingers. So be very careful. All right, rocking, and there. I dug and started at the top third, and then I went to the second third, the length of the blade. Perfect cut. Thank you. Catarinita. Hi, I went on YouTube and saw you were live. Yeah, this is a live grafting demonstration. Aquí estamos. Va a ser un multi-injerto, un manzano multi-injerto para un paisano de Guanajuato y compañero de trabajo. Now, I want to see. You're going to kind of rock it to pry it open. Lean it forward, and then it's going to catch. It's going to catch there. And then my trick that I always cheat it. I always cheat it a little bit. Again, you have to line up the cambium layers, but if you miss, because they say it's a fraction of a millimeter, you could have done a nice cut, you could have tied it off really well, but if you miss, if the cambium layers do not come in contact with each other, the whole thing is a dud. So what I do, I'll slightly kick it out as to guarantee an intersection point. That's the secret. That's going to bring up your graft success to like well over 95. Okay? There. And that's good. Because then there's still going to be a lot of contact right here. So say this is that piece of budwood. it's gonna come in contact with that wound at 2 points here and there, if that makes sense. Okay, and then let's turn it around, see how it looks over here, and see right there, same thing. It's gonna be that top view, and then that whip comes in contact with the left and the right. So when I'm tying this, I want to pry that right there. Okay. Whoops, empty. Oh, over here. Yeah, these things are always in my pockets. All right. Landscaper's tie. I'll go a lot because I'm really gonna choke up on it, and then I want to seal it. So it's gonna be right here. My first knot. I secure it. And then hold and spin. I'm securing still, I'm not sealing, because then I'll go from the bottom up. All right, so now I'm going down. I'll go down. And right here, you can see there's a little gap. And I used to worry about it, but it'll callus over. So as long as there's, again, plenty of contact between the cambium layers, it'll create like some scar tissue and callus and fill in those voids. Try to minimize them, of course, but just know that sometimes the wood doesn't line up. All right, and now I'm climbing up. And I'm choking. Climbing up and choking. And then again, where I want it to, there's already plenty of contact. But again, see right here where I wanted to connect. Again, the whip, this is the whip cut, and then this is, it's drawing contact to the left and to the right. So plenty of contact. If I have to say how many contact points, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then in the tongue too. So well over 6. I would say 8. And again, I only need 1. Oh, and that's gonna happen. But just tie again. And then just try to double knot. I just double knotted it, and then pry it back to really choke up on it, and then pull forward, and just make sure that everything's sealed. And then the cap right here, and that's not enough, so I'll go in here. There, that's to prevent from dehydrating. You could leave it exposed, but sometimes it could run back. It could dehydrate and run back. But again, if we gave it plenty of buds, this one might be sacrificed, but it'll express these other ones. But again, I want it to go out that way. There. kind of have it overlap the edges a little bit. Al 100, al 100. Thanks for all the tip. Hey, thank you everyone for tuning in. And most importantly, get out there, do some grafts. Don't be scared to fail. You're gonna learn from your mistakes. So yeah. Next is the Jonah Gold. This is a local champion right here. And we're gonna go cleft graft. We're gonna go cleft graft right here. Same thing, sacrifice the top bud. Okay, we're good. Right here, so count off 3. 1, 2, and 3, and then give it a little neck. There's the 4th bud right here, but it's gonna get cut. Okay. This is cleft graft. So first, it's gonna be modified. It's not gonna be down the middle because as you can see that's too thick. So I'm gonna go again maybe about 30 this way towards the camera. So again, not 50. That would be 50 right there, right through that center dot. Right to that dot would have been maybe splitting the limb right in half. But again, this is modified. I want to come out so it's a little bit thinner. So yeah, I probably went about 30. There. So maybe about the length of my knuckle on my thumb. All right. And then again. And then orientation. So this one, as to avoid intersecting with the neighboring graft, I want to orient and shape the spatula this way. Again, about the length of a knuckle on my thumb. So hold it right there. That's where I want to be. Check your orientation. That's the bud. And cut. And see, that's where you see that the wood's kinks and knots are gonna throw you off. And you could still cut through, you just need to keep a steady hand. And you're gonna be carving and shaving it down. But for the sake of coming in fast, this is what I prefer. But I just want to show you that you could do it with the knife as well. And then see how it's gonna try to twist you. So look how that's thin and that's thick. So now make corrections leaning on the left side. First I carve down, then I'll make the final last corrections as clean as possible. And then, okay, I'm kind of where I want to be. And then, so now my last clean cut, I want it to be smooth. There. There, that's good. There. That's a good spatula right there. Now go back to it with your bark lifter. Insert and pry. Or pry and insert. And then look, I'm gonna kick it out right there. So like, look, I guaranteed an intersection point right there. I lined it up right here. I'm lining it up towards the edge, but look, it intersected through this knot at the top right here, at the top, and at the bottom. Now this is gonna want to die back, and it could run into your union. So trim the excesses, trim them off. Boom, you see? And then again, now look, my bud is facing this way. So the blue one's going that way, and this one's coming this way towards us. Eli Gomez, what's up, 831? Aquí andamos. Aquí andamos multi-grafting an apple tree, un manzano. And then again, so right here, I know I'm good right here. I'm good right here. I'm good right here. So there's two points. Landscaper's tie. Again, go plenty. Just be careful. It's gonna be tough to tie, to twist. So my first one is to choke up on it right away to secure it. And then again, I'm pulling it through in between this close gap between the limbs. Hold it, and pull. Again, that one's a little bit tougher because of the proximity to the neighboring one, but nothing in the real world is going to be perfect. And that's why the more graft techniques you know, the better. Come up high so I can squeeze it in between there. And then now I'm going to seal. So I'm coming and wrapping from the bottom up. Seal the top. With deciduous, you don't need to wrap it. You don't need to wrap it. You don't need to wrap your budwood with grafting tape. Again, pry and like wrench it tight. Okay. Orange is gonna be the Jonah Gold. And I usually keep these upside down so I get it on the lid. And then so that way I could just need to tap the lid. Have it kind of go over the edge a little bit for a complete seal. And now for a golden delicious right here. But this one's gonna be tough it really only lines up with the top half. So that's what we're gonna harvest. Refresh. Make sure that it's good. If it's speckled, if it's brown, if it's black, little dots of black, keep cutting down. Keep cutting down. What's the rootstock? M112. M112. And then this is I forget what it was, but it was high chill hours. It was high chill hours, and it just stuck around in the nursery, and that's why they gave it to me. But now I'm multi-grafting it with Gala. This was a whip and tongue. We did a cleft, and then a cleft of Jonah Gold. And this one's a little bit of a stretch. It's kind of thin, but I'm really trying to make it work, just to give again, Jonah Gold, I want to say it's like a red green blush, Gala red, and then this is a yellow Golden Delicious. But if something needs to come off, or if we need a abort, it'll probably be the Golden Delicious. So yeah, 1, 2, and yeah, it's only gonna be those 2 buds right there. So there could be a little of mismatch with the whip and tongue, again, especially how I cheat it. So orient your buds in the right direction. So I want it like this. So I need my whip on this side. And again, so it seats better, angle it. That's gonna seat right there. And then again, there's these 2 little oil marks right here. I usually try to come in right between them and then hold it and then pull away. That's a clean whip right there. Okay, now same thing over here on my host branch. Have it come between my 2 oil spots that I use as reference, and then you're gonna have to kind of push it up there. 2 whips. That you can do right there too, but it's gonna move, it's gonna dance. So I do the tongue so they secure and latch onto each other. So again, lower third, mid third, top third. Top third, dig in and rock. Rock gently, gently. Make sure you have good hydrated budwood. If it's dry, this is where it's gonna split and run, and you can cut yourself. So there. Same thing over here. Top third, dig in, and this one's thin. This one's thin, I can feel it. I'm going slow. And then if your angle is too steep, you can cut it off too. So just make sure it's almost like you're just shaving a little bit. And let me see how I don't angle it too much. I'm almost running it parallel. Just dig in a little bit. And there. I'm in the length of the blade. Pull away. Again. Let me show you. You're gonna want to lean into it. Like lean into it and then simultaneously kind of go this way, so that then you expose this one. Hope it makes sense. And see, and it's pried open right here, and it's pried open right there. But now we wanna, when we wrap, we wanna hug it. So wrap tight. But I know we're locked in. If you wanna make some corrections, my bud's this way. So this one, out that way, out that way. This one, this way. And now this one, coming towards us. Avoiding intersecting branches, okay? Open center. It's turning out great. Appreciate it. We'll see how it's gonna wake up. We'll see how it'll wake up, but I want to catch that first push. If you catch that first push and then eliminate any suckers, any competing shoots, your graft is good. Again, if I have to go 12, a foot, or maybe even 16 inches, 18. Again, the first one, it's gonna be like at the middle to secure it. Secure with the knot. Again, let me see where I'm at. Yeah, I'm good. It's curved, so it kind of, I don't have to cheat it because the wood in itself is kind of curved. So at some point in the curve, it'll catch it. The cambium layers again at the top and at the bottom. So, but you're all this with time and experience, you learn to read it. You'll learn to read it. It kind of speaks to you. And then right here, just be careful now. So first secure it. Secure, and then I'm going down, coming up. Again, I'm closing that, and that's why you see it. As I'm closing this, it's coming out in this direction. And that's what I want, to maximize contact. Now, are these angles ideal? No, they're not ideal. But nothing in life is ideal. It's like, when do you start a business? Wait for the right condition? Never. You know, but same thing. But since these whips are gonna be like tender and young, you could pry them. You can pry them, and then you want a 45 degree. But again, yeah, these might originally might have been a little too steep, but you just have to work with what you got. And then I'm coming up, choking up. Sorry about that. And then right there, that gap right there, I still have to close it. And here it goes, right here. Cinch and close, cinch and pull, and then go again. Don't over pull on the first one. Just keep tightening it with multiple pulls. And then I'm running out of tie, so it's time we tie, or not. And then ratchet, kind of pull back and pull forward, because this is what's gonna choke up on it. And see, it even gave me more. It gave me more, and then tie again. And same thing, ratchet, pull up, pull down. It's like you're almost like a ratchet strap. But again, and that's that. We're gonna cap it with the green. Ahí está, bro. ¿Cómo les quedó? You guys let me know. I feel pretty good about all of them. But now it's gonna be a competition between the grafts, and then for sure the girth of it is a major deciding factor. So if I see this one taking off, say it wakes up and it's taking off, I have to train it. If I want these other ones to come alive, I can't let the strong one run away with the vigor. And there's always going to be a variety that acclimates better, that is performing better in the area. And again, if you want to keep the other ones alive, you're going to have to check the leader. I'm thinking this is the strongest budwood. However, this one tied into a thicker trunk. But I gave this a little bit of apical dominance. Ahí nomás para que se emparejen, so they even off. And then this one, well, this one also has a good chance of taking because it's kind of using these other two as a nursing branch. So it wants to flow high, but this will kind of hijack some of the vigor. So they all stand a pretty good chance. Stay tuned. They'll probably heal over like in 10 days. And then eventually break dormancy. But it'll heal over pretty quick. Again, I'm not easing up. I won't take this off. I'm not gonna take it off, just leave it. MJT 2582 got that exact graft knife in the mail today. Congrats, bro. Excited to use it. Attempting to graft some cotton candy, apium, and cotton heart plumery wood onto a volunteer apricot. So you think I don't need to wrap? Nah. You could cap it. You could cap it with some grafting tape, and you can. But I know I've worked with it so much, and then I see the master grafters. They're not wrapping it. They're only tying off on the union. So, but again, if you're barely practicing, if you want to baby your graft, go right ahead. I feel comfortable enough that I just use this. And there's been instances where I don't even cap it, and it still takes. So, but again, for the purpose of helping me identify which is which, the colors help. So again, Gala, the blue, orange, Jonah Gold, and then the green, Golden Delicious. So cool, man. Thanks. Hey, no problem. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate the support. If this content was helpful, please like, comment, subscribe. This one's it. Thank you guys. Have a good night. Roberto Argueta, MJT 2582. Damon Hoots. I missed Damon Hoots. I apologize. And then Eli Gomez, everybody who tuned in, Catarinita Oficial, Jessica Prince, and the weirdest street kid, and Liberty on the Land. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate all the support. Stay tuned. We're gonna see how this breaks dormancy, and then I'm gonna go plant it. Again. He's a co-worker, and Paisano, he has I'm plugging him in with gems because he actually has a huerta of Hass down in Guanajuato already. A little bit of a home grower down there. And I'm letting him know about the gem. He has mangoes and gems. Pedro has mangoes and gems in Hass and mangoes in Guanajuato. So, and I'm letting him know about the gem. Young Gonzo came in kind of late. Go back, bro. It was a good one. My speech, I executed it pretty properly. And then all of them, I felt good about all of them. This was a whip and tongue with the scion on. And then this was a cleft, and this was another whip and tongue. But yeah, just so you know what I'm talking about, though, scion on will give you an instant whip. You seat it on that notch. Bam. Again, you could do it with the knife. But the thing about the knife that in the real world there's kinks and there's knots. and the wood's gonna be throwing you off. You're gonna shave, but again, it throws you off. And again, I always shave it down good and even, but for the sake of coming in hot and fast, this one's gonna do it. This one's good for infield. Home growers, couple grafts around the house, family members, this is definitely the best. This is the best one right here. With the bark wood, with the bark lifter. Yeah, on this one there's 3 kinds of flavors. Yeah, the blue is Gala, the orange is Jonah Gold, and then the green one is Golden Delicious. Alright, that was a quick little recap. Thank you everyone once again. Francisco 831. Aquí andamos, bro. Go back, go back, go back. 100, 100. Al 100, aquí andamos, bro. Saludos. Have a blessed night, everyone. Peace.